Hello, I'm Zachary Van Zant. Today I'll be talking about the recent controversy surrounding COPPA. COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, is a rule that imposes certain requirements on operators of websites or online services directed to children under 13 years of age. One of these platforms is YouTube. COPPA has an extremely large effect on YouTube and is pushing them to enforce policy changes in January. This has content creators worried for the future of their channels. There are several changes on the way, but the change that specifically relates to revenue has to do with how ads will be presented. Once the policy changes are implemented, if creators mark a video as directed at kids, data collection will be blocked for all viewers, resulting in lower ad revenue. Google and its subsidiary YouTube paid a fine of $170 million to settle allegations regarding YouTube collecting personal information from children without their parents' consent. This whole situation is very tricky and could lead down a dark road for YouTubers. Let's hope this is all figured out for the sake of YouTube and all of its users. This has been Zachary Van Zant. Have a Merry Christmas.
The worldwide event of Christmas is a celebration of the birth of Jesus. However, Christmas did not become widely celebrated until many years after Jesus died. The first ever recorded celebration was in the year 336 AD under the Roman Emperor Constantine, called the Feast of the Nativity. The celebration spread to Egypt in 432 AD. And then spread to England in the 6th century. Soon after this, the Puritans grew in influence and stopped Christmas celebrations altogether, along with other Christian practices. However, Christmas returned when King Charles II became king in 1660. Many pilgrims who came to America were Puritans in search of religious freedom, so they did not celebrate Christmas. And in Boston from 1659 to 1681, anyone who celebrated Christmas had to pay a fine. However, in the colony of Jamestown, everybody celebrated Christmas. Later, when the American Revolution happened, Americans stopped celebrating Christmas because it was seen as a British tradition. It came back once again in the 19th century when Charles Dickens published the book A Christmas Carol, greatly influencing the idea of Christmas. Finally, in 1870, Christmas was declared a federal holiday, becoming the holiday we all know and love today. Merry Christmas from Guerrilla Wolves News.
Hi, welcome to Guerrilla Sports News. I'm Steven Dodolo, and this is Brick Zorns, MVP of St. Paul's Wrestling.
On today's episode of Sports News, we're going to be talking about the top 5 craziest sports.
Number 5, underwater hockey, also known as octopush, is a globally played limited contact sport in which two teams compete to maneuver a puck across the bottom of a swimming pool into the opposing team's goal by propelling it with a hockey stick.
Wow, I think I'm going to go play after this.
Number 4, chess boxing, is a hybrid that combines two traditional pastimes, chess and boxing.
So you're telling me that I can box and play chess at the same time?
Exactly. You box first and then you play a highly concentrated game of chess.
Nice.
Number 3, extreme ironing is an extreme sport in which people take ironing boards to remote locations and iron items of clothing. This is the latest danger sport that combines the thrills of an extreme outdoor activity with the satisfaction of a well-pressed shirt.
Well, that's a good way for me to keep my daily dose of adrenaline while also ironing my shirt.
Number 2, toe wrestling.
It's a sport involving two opponents who lock feet and attempt to pin each other's foot down with no time limit, similar to an arm wrestling contest.
Hey, maybe you would actually be better at that than actual wrestling.
I don't really like toes, so I'm good on that.
Number 1, Pillow Fight League.
It's a Toronto-based semi-professional sports league centered on public pillow fights. It's hosted in a fighting arena, much like a boxing or arm wrestling match.
Those are the top 5 craziest sports. This is Guerrilla Sports News. Have a Merry Christmas.
The First Lady, Melania Trump, announced on December 1st that the White House had been decorated for the Christmas season with the theme of the Spirit of America. The reveal stated that the First Lady personally selected every detail of the Christmas adorations. The decorations consist of a masterpiece gingerbread White House, flanked by national landmarks including the Golden Gate Bridge, the Space Needle, Mount Rushmore, the Alamo, Gateway Arch, Liberty Bell, and the Statue of Liberty. There is the White House Advent Calendar in the green room, an 18.5-foot tree in the blue room, and tons of game-related decorations in the red room. On the other side of the Atlantic, the Windsor Castle has also participated in the Christmas holiday. The royal family has used a more historical theme to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the birth of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. In the octagon dining room, the royal family has also featured a display of the gifts they exchanged to one another during the Christmases they spent at the castle. The centerpiece of the decorations, however, is the 20-foot Norman fir taken from the Windsor Great Park, and it is located in St. George's Hall, decorated with lights and hundreds of ornaments. Both the White House and Windsor Castle have gone all out to show how the Christmas decorations are done. Now the question remains, who did it better? This is Clayton Cockfield, GWN, St. Paul's.
Hello, St. Paul's. I'm Stephen Dotolo.
And I'm Aiden Plochet.
Today we're going to be reviewing Elon Musk's new Cybertruck, seemingly one of the most highly controversial vehicles to be created to date.
We'll be dividing the information into three categories: specs, looks, and purpose.
Let's get started.
First up, specs. The all-electric Cybertruck will be offered at three different price tiers, ranging from the $39,000 model with a one-motor-powered rear-wheel drive, a range of 250 miles, and a 0 to 60 speed of 6.5 seconds, to the $69,000 model with a three-motor-powered all-wheel drive, a range of 500-plus miles, and a 0 to 60 speed of 2.9 seconds, and a towing capacity of over 14,000 pounds. All of the Cybertruck tiers have 100 cubic feet of storage and 16 inches of ground clearance, which is higher than most currently available trucks without mods. The Cybertruck also boasts cold-rolled steel, an exoskeleton design, and metal glass windows. More details are available at tesla.com/Cybertruck.
While the Cybertruck is priced competitively to similar trucks like the Ford F-150, which is $55,000 to $58,000 when fully equipped, it is outclassed by the F-250, which has a towing capacity of 30,000 pounds when properly equipped and costs $70,000. As the Cybertruck is currently a prototype, we also do not know if it is able to be modified or if it has important safety features like airbags or crumple zone, which are not apparent from footage of the truck. Further, if the viral demo of those windows is any indication, I think they have a long way to go. Another concern is the inability to bring fuel with you like you would be able to with a gas can, which could be a major problem if you run out of power in the middle of nowhere.
Next up is looks. While the futuristic design of the Cybertruck is definitely interesting to some and off-putting to others, it's certainly a change. One of the selling points Elon Musk used was that the style of trucks has stayed the same for nearly 100 years. And the same thing happened with the horse and buggy until gas-powered vehicles came along. So, he's repeating history and blazing a new trail with his futuristic all-electric truck. This new design is certainly a deviation from the norm, and I welcome change to the same old trucks of today.
Maybe a new style would be a good thing, but something that looks like a truck from a video game with the graphic settings turned down to 0 is not exactly a good idea.
Finally, the Cybertruck's purpose. The Cybertruck can't compete with heavy-duty vehicles like the Ford F-150.
Or roll call for the matter.
But I don't think that was its purpose. I think the truck was made as an alternative for the majority of consumers. Not very many people need to tow more than 14,000 pounds. It's also priced competitively with the Ford F-150, which is near the same caliber as the Cybertruck. I think that even though it looks kind of silly, the Cybertruck has compelling power behind it that makes it a hard bargain compared to other similar trucks. In a lot of ways, it's a win for consumers, as not only does it compete with current trucks, it's cheaper in the long run. The cost of electricity is lower than the cost of gas or diesel, and there are no oil changes. If you buy one, just be sure to know where the recharge stations are.
If you want a real truck for heavy-duty usage or to do mud riding or planning to just roll coal on that annoying neighbor of yours, don't buy a Cybertruck.
Many people think that electric cars are just glorified golf carts, but I think that the numbers behind this truck show that electric cars have come a long way. While the best thing to do for the environment would be
to drive the vehicle you currently own until it dies, fix it, and keep going.
If you are looking for a new vehicle, take a gander at the Cybertruck. Since the truck won't be released until 2021 or 2022, maybe some of those cons will disappear, so take this for what you will.
This has been a review for Elon Musk's golf cart. Cybertruck.
Have a great day,
St. Paul's.
What's up, guys? It's me, Doof, and today I'm going to be reviewing games on this new segment called Doof's Gaming Hour. Today I'll be reviewing the 20 to 30 something new game in the Pokemon franchise called Pokemon Sword. And oh man, are there some good things and there are some really bad things. I'm gonna start with the good things, mainly characters. Game Freak, for once in their life, actually decided to make good characters, like making the gym leaders actually useful for once. They actually do stuff outside of battling you, and their challenges are actually hard. And they end up battling you later in the Pokemon League, which is very nice for a nice change. And they also soon become your rivals. Speaking of rivals, there's 3 in this game, 2 of which are really decent, and 1 I utterly despise. So the first rival is Marnie. She's a very fun rival, and she has the quote-unquote evil team following her called Team Yell. And Team Yell, they're a team, and they yell. Your second rival is Bay. He's this really weird dude that works for the chairman who is trying to do stuff for him. You don't really find out what he's really trying to do, but he becomes the gym leader, and he's like the kind of guy you hate, but at the same time you really like him. And then your main rival is Hop, and man, is Hop the worst character I've ever seen before. On top of this man being so incompetent that by the time he gets to the Pokemon League, he doesn't know anything about the actual game. By the end of the game, he takes the one other legendary in the game from you, and on top of that, he still doesn't even know how to use it. The only thing that actually makes me feel bad for him is that in the game, you take his dreams and ruin them in front of him. But besides that, that's really all on characters. Next, story and gameplay. So, gameplay mechanics, they introduced a new thing called Dynamaxing. Your Pokemon grow huge. It was more of a combination of the 2 past concepts, being Mega Evolution and Z-moves. It's pretty good, but there's some bad things about it, like some moves are way too OP and some forms do so much damage it should not be real. But then I'm evolving into a thing called Mr. Rhyme and a couple other things. But the new Pokemon I really don't like, and I don't think they should have ever made, is this Apple Pokemon that I'm going to talk about later. Another good thing about the game is there's this raid system where you can get special Pokemon and other cool items. Besides that, there's the ability to go camping, which allows your friendship to grow up, and there's a wild area where you can come back every time and the Pokemon will be on level with your level at the time. Lastly are some of the bad things. So there's a new trading card system in the game. You make your own trading card. It's not that good. I mean, all it really does is just add to, hey, you can see what other people like to personalize their characters. But besides that, the other bad thing is they took out half the Pokemon, including the literal god in the game, which is really weird. I don't know why they decided to do that. And last but not least, my rant. So, my rant is, why did they decide that a Pokemon that is literally just an apple can be a dragon type? Like, I was playing this game, minding my own business. I went into a tree, I saw an apple on the ground, I went to try to eat it. My character got attacked by an apple with eyes where leaves are. And on top of that, when it evolves and when it's an apple, it's a dragon type. Which, when I thought about it, I think, hey, wait a minute. Why is this thing a literal dragon whenever 2 dragons that have existed in the game since Gen 1 are not? And I mean, look how bad of a design it is. It's an apple with eyes where the leaves are. How can you get that bad? But besides that, it's a pretty good game. That's mainly a rant I have. Anyways, this has been Doof's Gaming Hour. I am your host, Nick Doof, and I am a living meme.
Hello and welcome to Guerrilla Wolf's Top 10 Christmas Wait, what's this? Looks like we have live news from the theater. 2 young students have just reported strange sounds coming from backstage. Let's take a look. Now this is live footage of them in the theater. Now they say they have heard rumors of students disappearing and traced it back to the theater, so they decided to check it out for themselves. Let's listen in.
We're at the top of the theater right now, looking for what's ever making that strange noise. Dang, it's scary in here.
What was that?
Let's go find out.
So we're walking down the stage, and we just heard a sound. That's the 4th one we've heard.
What would be haunting us at Christmas time like this?
I don't know.
All right, let's keep walking.
It's kind
There's no one in here right now.
What was that? Gotta keep going.
Oh my gosh. Here, pause and let me go up this way. Yeah. All right. So right now we're on the steps approaching the theater. We think whatever is making that strange noise is coming from backstage, so we're gonna go check it out.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
St. Paul's.
Alright, we're
So,
walking down the steps.
This
We're
is
pretty
like-
sure what's ever making that strange sound is what the? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely in the dressing room.
What is?
That's the question.
Where?
Alright.
Wait a second.
Come on.
This is kind of creepy, guys.
This is. What
What the
heck?
heck?
Is that?
Oh my!
Oh my God!
Oh my. What do I say? Stay safe during the holidays, St. Paul's. Wait a minute, was that not real?